SwoleBenji here. Today's topic, we are talking about rend. Rend is lowering your opponent's armor to deal more damage. It is a vital mechanic to use in invasions, in speed clearing dungeons. It will mainly be used in these mutated dungeons coming up, and it's also kind of used in PvP to nullify fortify. But let's talk about rend and the sources for rend. One of the main sources for rend is perforate from the spear, which is at 3 attacks. Each attack will stack 5, 10, and 15%. But if they are above 50% life with this passive, it is 10%. Now, rend caps out at 30%, sort of. If you rend a target past 30%, you have heavy diminishing returns, and I'll show that off in a sec, okay? The second source of rend is going to be Trenchant rend, which when you do a charged heavy attack, that's 14% right there. Alright, but there is another source, and that is the warhammer. You have Armor Breaker, which, if you pick up Lasting Trauma, it reduces by 20%. Alright, so that's pretty good. And then also, you have a few other ones that are perks on gear. So on this glove, we have Sundering Shockwave, which is 9.5%. And then on this glove, we have Sundering Javelin, which is 18%, right? So, which is the best one? Which one should you be using? And I'm going to share with you right now the secret sauce. It's the warhammer, and let me tell you why. It's currently bugged. Once this gets fixed, the spear might be good, but the warhammer still has some really good benefits, so I don't know why anyone would ever use a spear after this video. So let me show you why the warhammer does more damage, okay? And I've been sitting here testing this forever, wrapping my brain around it. Why is it bugged? And I finally figured it out, okay? It's this passive right here on the hammer. Concussive Impact. Deal 15% increased damage against targets affected by warhammer debuffs. Alright, so what does that mean? That means if I debuff an enemy with a warhammer, which we're going to be using Shockwave, that's the only skill it seems to work on. Shockwave is a stun, and then if you go down here, it is a weaken by 10%. Those are 2 debuffs, okay? But it only counts for the weaken for some reason. It doesn't count stun as a debuff. Now, the cool thing about this is that this is the bugged part. This is not supposed to work for other weapons. So what this means is that if you hit an opponent with Shockwave and you inflict weaken on them and you have Concussive Impact as a passive and you hit them with any other weapon, that weapon will receive the 15% damage increase, okay? It's not supposed to do that. And that's right now what makes Shockwave here the best ability to use to rend your target, because you can rend them up to 30% when you combine it with Armor Breaker, alright? Technically 29.5, but but when you combine it with this 15% damage increase, it blows everything else out of the water, essentially. So let me show you what that looks like, okay? So what we're going to do now is we're going to Armor Break into Shockwave, and then I'm going to switch to the Axe, and we just slashed for 2,868, okay? That's just a light attack. That's not a heavy. That's not a charged heavy. Now, normally it should be about, what, 2,044, I believe? Or 2,022. That's our regular damage that we do. 2,022 per swing. Alright, so if I just use Armor Breaker, okay, and then we swing, that's 2,426. So, half as effective if we just use one. But, if we use Armor Breaker into Trenchant Heavy, into Light Attack, that is 2,639. That is technically the cap, right? That is the cap for rending a target, right? Now here's the cool thing too, is this passive right here on the warhammer, this Concussive Impact, it doesn't last very long, okay? It doesn't last the full duration of the weaken. I don't know why. It's like the code corrects itself after a few seconds. So let me show you what I mean by that, okay? So if I just use Shockwave here, okay, and then I attack, that is 2,425. Now if I wait a sec, it's 2,214. Right, so we lose about 200 damage there. And that is because it wears off. Okay, but the rend still applies for a little while. As a matter of fact, the rend stays on for 10 seconds. That is as soon as that damage number pops up. So, if we attack early on, we get that extra 200 damage in, and I gotta wait for my Mauler to wear off, and then, see, it goes back down to 2,200. And then it's back down to 0 because there's no more rend on the target, right? So, if you use the... I gotta wait on my cooldowns. Let's switch to the spear now, and because I'm using different stats on these gloves, different stats on this spear, my damage will be a little bit different on this axe, okay? So right now, I'm down to 1989 as my default crit, right? Now, if I perforate, that's going to max it out immediately. Alright, and now I hit for 2,586. So that is the rend cap, right? That is as hard as we can hit with rend. And like I said, any more rends applied is a diminishing return. So let me show you what that looks like, okay? So we did 2586, we're going to javelin it now. And now we do 2597. So we do 11 more damage. We applied 18% additional rend on top of 30, and we got 11 damage out of that. That is, what, 0.01% increase, I believe? So we got 0.18%. I don't even think it's that high. I think it's actually less than that or something. It's really, really ridiculous, right? And just to show you that Javelin isn't bugged, if we just rend with Javelin, it's 2,300, right? And then, well, that's the wrong skill. And, yeah, so, that is stacking the maximum possible rend with Spear. And like I said, the reason why you want to use the warhammer over the spear is simply because of applying shockwave. Like, I'm not even going to use my shockwave gloves here. I took them off. I've got the javelin one on, right? So shockwave right now, it doesn't apply rend at all. So check this out. So we default hit 2044. If I shockwave and then hit, that is 2,239. And then after a few seconds, it goes back to 2044. There's no rend on the target, right? But the Sundering Shockwave rend, of course, obviously stacks with the 15% damage increase. Now remember, this is only supposed to apply when you're attacking with a hammer. Okay, 15% increased damage against targets affected by warhammer debuffs, right? Because, like, all the skills in, like, say, the Ice Gauntlet tree, if you cast, like, Ice Storm on a target, you don't suddenly do more damage with a Great Axe. Otherwise, people would be using this just to debuff enemies and deal more damage, right? That was a beta thing, and they fixed it, but apparently this never got fixed. So, remember, it was like 2,200 something, now it's 2,400. We wait a few seconds for that to go off. It's still rendered at 2,214, still rendered, so we're gonna wait. And now it is no longer rendered, so 2022. Now, there's a few other interesting things, too, that I've found out. And that is with Trenchant Rend, okay? You may think that you can just stack Trenchant Rend, but it doesn't quite exactly stack. It suffers a diminishing return, so let me show you what I mean by that, okay? Default attack is 2022. So we're going to Trenchant Rend with a heavy, and then we're going to attack again, and that is 2299. Alright, that's how much we hit for. And yeah, I'm not paying around on those houses, ever. Ever! Okay. Now if I do 2 Trenchant Rends, it's 2309. So we deal 10 more damage. It's about the same as the spears? It's like 11 more damage with the spears, but for whatever reason, you can't really stack Trenchant Rends. Don't know why. I guess it's not really... But it does give you more damage. It gives you 10 more damage. Okay. And you may think, well, what if you stack Trenchant Rend with Armor Breaker and Shockwave? So that would look like this. So you hit, 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 and then we're going to swing in the back, and that's 2891, right? If you stack Armor Breaker with Shockwave and all that fun stuff, the Trenchants, these two do not stack anymore. Like, I can just sit here and just smash into this thing, and it's going to cap out at 4714 for that. But if I suddenly, you know, hit him with this and hit him with this, switch to the axe, 2880. It's like, what, 1 more damage? 1 more damage? Oh boy. Anyway, so that is Rend in a nutshell. Now, I want to say also, once this concussive impact gets fixed, if Amazon ever fixes it, I don't even know if they watch my videos, they probably don't. But if it ever does get fixed, Shockwave is still going to be better. The hammer is still going to be better than using the spear. And that is because of frailty. That weakens the enemy mobs that you're farming to deal less damage to you. The spear does not do that. The spear may hit harder than... I don't think the spear hits harder than a hammer, guys. I really don't. But you might... like, say you're... okay, here's the truth behind the whole speedrun stuff, right? If you are a rapier DPS, you will rend with a spear. If you are a great axe DPS, you will rend with a warhammer. Simple as, okay? And if you're the tank... you're basically using Great Axe Warhammer, and you're using Sword and Shield on Scylla. That's the only boss in the game you need to actually block with. The rest you can just beat with Great Axe and Warhammer. But yeah, that's rend. That's the weapons you should use if you want to rend a target. Don't think that you can stack the spear and the Warhammer rends. It doesn't work. I've already tried it. I'll go ahead and show you anyway. Alright, so we got the spear out. Which rend do we have? We have Shockwave, because Shockwave is obviously better, right? So, let's just do a regular light attack, and that is 1704, okay? Now, let's stack up real quick here. Let's wait. Then we're going to do this, and then a light attack. 2732, right? Okay, so now let's stack up our rends on this guy. Just wait a sec. Make sure it's reset, and it's reset. Okay, we're good. There we go, 2215. Remember, the shock, we gotta wait on that shockwave cooldown. So let's get the numbers again. So it's still rended, gotta wait. 1704. Okay, there we go. So we're gonna do this, we're gonna do this. Now the shockwave buff is 2732, 2522, right? Alright. 2522, that's our target. And that is 2215. Oh, I don't have the right... do I? I don't have the right gloves on. No? What? Why is it not working now? This is 30%. Dude, 2,500 damage. What in the crap? Why, Gabe? Why? Why? Oh. Okay, if that hits for 2,200... See, that's perfectly stacked up 30% rend on the target, 2215, right? I don't get it. Guys, I don't... what is going on? Alright, so we're gonna Trenchant into Armor Breaker, and then we hit him 2,900. Oh, okay. We're just gonna hit him with everything, okay? So, there's that rend, there's that rend. That's not what I wanted to do. That's 4 rends and then 27. Like, oh jeez. You know what? Whatever. Rend is stupid. Why doesn't the spear rend let me do more hammer damage? I don't. This is max stacks. It should deal 2,500. Now it's 2215. Let's hit him with another 20. There's the 25. So we have 50%. Is 30 not the cap anymore? Is the cap being ignored if it's 2 separate sources? I tested this earlier and it was doing the same. Maybe the target dummy bugged out. I don't know, man. See, that's 2531. Throw a spear into his chest. 2531 still. Like, there was 0 increase, right? And I don't have the Sundering Javelin gloves on. Okay. 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 Stab, stab, stab. 30%. Throw Javelin into chest. Switch to hammer and attack. 2245. What? Why? Why is it not working correctly? Don't understand. Because if we just do that, and then we attack, that's 2368. That's 20%. That's a 20% rend. And it's doing more than a 30% rend right there, and then an 18% rend, and then we smack them, and it does less. It does less. Why? Just use the hammer. Fuck the spear. Fuck the spear, guys. Just fuck it. Just use the hammer. The hammer clearly works better. What in the heck is going? Oh, don't regular stab. What's wrong with you? Look at this. Look at this. That's every rend we got. 2780. And if if we just do the hammer instead, I don't get it, man. There's probably some other passive at play here. I don't really get it. Just use the hammer, guys. Just use the damn hammer, man. Okay. Okay. Armor breaker into that, and then we attack. And that's 25, 66. And then if we trenchant heavy into regular attack, 29, 93. And that's when Shockwave falls off, too. So now let's wait on Shockwave again, because obviously we can get that 15% damage boost. Alright, Trenchant into armor, into Shockwave, into light attack. 3,200. Yep, that's the combo. That's the big winner combo, right? Anyway, guys, whoa, camera bugged out. Nice. It's like, I'm the target dummy now, the target dummy. Okay, I'm SwoleBenji, thanks for watching. As always, be a bro and stay swole. Just, I hope you learn, use the warhammer if you want to rend your target, because the spear, it's not working. It's just not working, dude. It's just not working. Look at that. 2200 with 48% rend applied, whereas if we do 20 plus 9.5 plus 14, okay. I don't know, guys. See you tomorrow. Videos every day, maybe.